The hallway fight scenes became a trademark of Daredevil, appearing in every season and each time raising the barns in terms of spectacle and execution difficulty. I have to admit, the first one remains my absolute favorite, and for several reasons. First, the scene itself is a mini story, clearly divided into the beginning, middle, and the end. The beginning sets the stage, introduces the location, and shows Daredevil's entry. Then comes the middle, a long and grueling fight scene. Grueling for protagonist, certainly not for a viewer. And finally, the payoff, Matt's goal of rescuing a kidnapped child. In screenwriting books, it's often emphasized that even the simplest scene should follow a three-act structure. Of course, that's not always possible. Some scenes are just quiet moments, like a character riding in a public transport. But even those can reveal something meaningful with a right touch. Here, the structure is very clear and significantly enhances the impact. We start with a shot of the hallway, the main stage of the action. There are three doors, but our attention is immediately drawn to the one in the center of the frame, intentionally, as that's where the kidnapped child is. One thug exits the left door carrying a tray with a sad looking meal. The camera follows him until he opens the door, but the creators don't take us inside, probably due to technical limitations, nor do they cut as an interior shot. That's a brilliant choice. As Sam Raimi once said, the audience will imagine something much scarier than anything a camera could show. The crying child saying they want the dad remains off screen, which avoids melodrama and adds to the tension. I also love the red light pouring out of the room. It will matter later. And then, Fox steals the kid's apple. What a jerk. I hope he gets hit the hardest. The guy walks into the room on the third night, and this time we do get a look inside. We see the gang members doing the most gangster things ever, playing poker and drinking beer. Polish beer, by the way, which I found to be a fun detail. We instantly know how many of them there are and how tough the fight will be. The fog face stays in the shadow, turns to the first room. The room is lit with greenish yellow, almost matrix-like tones. The walls are damaged. The gang's room is littered with bottles, posters, and canned food. And we hear an annoying buzzing from a flickering bulb. Everything feels gritty and raw. And that's when the camera does a 180-degree turn to show the entrance where Daredevil appears. It's a great moment of tension. Matt slowly approaches the door, listening carefully to assess of the number of opponents. It's the classic calm before the storm moment, and it always works. When he enters, we get only a split-second glimpse before the doors close, and suddenly the camera cuts back to the wide shot of the empty hallway. That's what makes this scene different from the later hallway master shots. The first season creators had the maturity not to show everything directly. We see the hallway, hear only the sounds of the fight, and tension builds. Eventually, one of the guys flies out of the door, catching the attention of the rest. One gets hit in the face with a microwave. Normally, that would be a comedic, but here it's deadly serious. What I truly appreciate is the justification for why the fight is hand to hand. Matt focuses first on disarming opponents and uses one of them as a shield. Superhero productions have it easy in fight scenes because heroes usually wear distinctive costumes. But that doesn't always work, as we saw the chaos in the endgame final battle. Here, even if everyone's dressed in the black, we never lose track of Matt thanks to his mask. There are also hidden cuts, one during the 180-degree camera spin, and some earlier. At one point, Matt starts showing fatigue, breathing heavily, holding his side. The thugs aren't rookies either, which adds realism. The fight slows down, punches lose intensity, and Matt begins to get countered. The only thing that bothers me was that despite being exhausted, Matt still pulls off complex kicks. Really, he can barely breathe, but he's still flipping in midair to kick someone in the shin. The creators should have shown a gradual shift in his style, from acrobatics to gritty boxing. Maybe they wanted to preserve his superhero edge, but to me, it just doesn't work. Still, the scene does exactly what it should. Matt takes hits, gets grabbed, slams against the wall. He doesn't seem invincible, and that makes us root for him even more. He finally takes down the last thug, barely standing, a moment to pause before entering the room, deep breaths, and then a beautiful directional detail. Matt takes off his mask. So he doesn't scare the child. He doesn't want him to see a devil, but the man who came to save him. It mirrors the beginning. We never actually see the child, and Matt is the one who pulls him out of the hell, literally. That's what the red light was all about. This is, in my opinion, the best master shot in Daredevil's history. The later ones were longer, flashier, with more complex choreography, but they lack the visual style and direction storytelling that this scene absolutely nails. If you want to see more breakdown like this, let me know in the comments. I'd love to analyze the whole first season.